In a compound in Surulere, not the noisy face me I face you type but one of those old quiet compounds with 6 flats and tired flowers that refused to die, lived a young man called Emeka. Emeka was 25 years old. He was slim, sharp-eyed, always calculating life like NEPA bill. He worked at a small logistics company in Yaba. His salary was just manageable, but his dreams were big and his pockets always arguing with him. In that same compound lived Mama Grace. Everybody called her Mama Grace. Nobody knew her real name, nobody knew her real age. She could be 60, she could be 75, but her face carried peace like Lagos carries stress. Her husband had been very rich before he died, what we call old money, the kind that builds houses in silence. After his death, all her children relocated abroad. Some were in the UK, some were in Canada, one was in America, and they were doing very well, all of them. They didn't forget their mother. Oh. Every few weeks, dispatch riders would show up. There is package for Mama Grace, so big cartons, sometimes foodstuff, sometimes clothes, sometimes electronics. The compound people would gather small small, pretending not to look. Some would say, omo, this life dey sweet oh for some people. Ah! But Mama Grace, she never showed off. Every morning, she sat on her cane chair in the veranda, knitting slowly, like time was her friend. Sometimes, she would be inside reading her Bible. She was always calm, always quiet. And Emeka, every single day, without fail, whenever he was passing, "Good morning, ma. Good afternoon, ma. Good evening, ma." Ma Grace would smile. "God bless you, my son." At first, it was just respect. Then, it became observation. Then, it became calculation. One evening, Emeka was coming back from work, very tired and hungry, and his account balance was insulting him. As he passed Mama Grace's flat, he saw two big cartons by her door, foreign labels. One was already open. Inside it were imported food, perfumes, shoes, many things. Emeka slowed down. His eyes stayed a second too long. Mama Grace looked up from her knitting. "Oh, you're back." "Yes, ma." Then she smiled. "They sent things again, oh, these children. They don't just know how to rest." Emeka forced a laugh. "That's good, ma." But inside his head, something shifted. A dangerous thought entered quietly, like a thief testing a door. The woman is alone. All her children are abroad. Plenty valuables inside that house. That night, Emeka did not sleep well. The thought sat with him. It whispered. It grew. By the third day, it was no longer a thought. It was a plan. Behind the compound, near a small buka that sold watery stew and stubborn meat, Emeka sat with two of his friends, Bala and Sodiq. Men who didn't ask too many questions, men who understood hunger and quick money. Emeka leaned forward. "I get one job." Bala raised an eyebrow. "Hope say no be police wahala o." Emeka shook his head. "Na clean job." Sodiq spoke. "Oya talk." Emeka looked around, then leaned closer. "There's one old woman in my compound." As he spoke, the plan unfolded even more in his head. He told them everything: her routine, her loneliness, the deliveries, the quiet compound. There was no security, no CCTV. Bala whistled softly. "This one na jackpot oh." Sadiq nodded slowly. Lagos at 12:30 a.m. is a different animal. The noise drops, but danger wakes up. That night, the compound was silent. Generator had gone off. Darkness wrapped everything like clothes. Inside her sitting room, Mama Grace sat on her usual chair. Her Bible rested in her hands, reading slowly, peacefully, like the world outside did not exist. Then, bum 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 bum. She paused, looked at the wall clock, 12:30 a.m. Her brows pulled together slightly. Who could it be now at this time? The knock came again, firm, patient, not desperate. She placed her Bible gently on the table, adjusted her wrapper, and walked to the door. There was no fear in her, just curiosity. She opened it and immediately a gun pointed straight at her. Three masked men. Ah, there was silence. Still, danger standing in her doorway. For a split second, her body reacted. A small startle, then calm, deep calm. That kind that doesn't come from this world. She looked at them, then simply said, "Come in." The men exchanged glances. This was not how it usually went. Oh. There's no screaming, no begging, no shaking, just invitation. Oh. But they entered. Emeka's heart was beating like a drum inside his chest. He avoided her eyes. Mama Grace walked back to her chair, sat down, picked up her Bible, and continued reading like nothing happened. The men stood there, very confused. Bala whispered, "Guy, wetin dey happen for here? Wetin be dis?" Emeka swallowed, just searched the house. They moved, opening drawers, checking cupboards, looking for valuables. Still, Mama Grace did not react. No questions, no fear, just turning pages of her Bible. Her calm was louder than shouting. It was unsettling. After some minutes, something unexpected happened. Mama Grace stood up quietly. The men froze, watching her. She didn't say anything, no. She just walked to the kitchen. The men exchanged looks again. Guy, you sure say this woman normal so? There was no answer. From the kitchen came soft sounds, plates, metal, a pot opening. Then the smell. Ah, Nigerian jollof, freshly made, rich, that Lagos party kind, with fried chicken. The smell entered the room like temptation itself. Even fear paused. Mama Grace came out, carrying a tray. She placed it on the dining table. Three plates. She served jollof rice, added chicken, then brought three chilled bottles of Coca-Cola, placed them gently. Then she turned, went back to her chair, picked up her Bible, and continued reading. There was silence, heavy silence. Everything seemed strange. Bala whispered, "This woman, they mad." Sadiq licked his lips unconsciously. Or maybe she don't accept her fate. Emeka stared. His brain could not process it. This was not part of the plan now. Nothing about this made sense. But hunger does not analyze, it decides. Bala moved first. Guy, make we chop small. Sadiq followed. They dropped what they were holding, sat down, and started eating. At first, cautiously, then they forgot themselves. This rice sweet die. Guy, this chicken, see life. Even Emeka sat down. His hands moved before his conscience could speak. They ate, drank, laughed quietly. For a moment, they forgot why they came. What jollof rice and Coca-Cola can cause. Let's continue. While they were eating, Mama Grace stood up again, quietly, soft steps, no rush. She walked towards the door, opened it gently, stepped outside, closed it, and then, chicken, she locked it from outside. The men did not notice so. Inside, plates were just clanking, Coke bottles hissing. Outside, Mama Grace walked calmly across the compound to the gate, opened it, stepped out into the street, and went straight to the security post at the junction. "Officer," her voice was steady, "there are armed robbers in my house." Inside the house, the meal was almost finished. Bala leaned back, satisfied. Life no bad oh. Then he heard something distant and faint, but coming closer. Sirens. Sadiq frowned. You hear, you hear that thing? Emeka froze. His brain clicked. Fast, too fast. He jumped up, ran to the door, tried the handle. It did not move. His heart dropped. "Open the door!" He pulled harder. Nothing. Bala stood up. "Wetin happen?" "We are locked in oh." There was silence. Then panic exploded. "Break am na!" They rushed, tried the windows, iron bars, everything was strong. They kicked the door, hit it. Nothing happened. The sirens grew louder, closer and closer. Blue and red lights began to flicker through the windows. Reality landed like thunder. They had been played, outsmarted by a woman who did not even raise her voice. Police vehicles filled the compound. Neighbors woke up. Doors opened. Heads peeped. Whispers spread like fire. What happened? Armed robbers, so where? In Mama Grace's house. Ha! Police surrounded the flat. Come out with your hands up! Inside, 3 men were trapped, defeated. They were sweating, breathing hard, and there was no escape for them. Slowly, the door was opened from outside. Police stormed in. Within seconds, they were on the floor, handcuffed, finished. As they were dragged out, Emeka lifted his head and saw her, Mama Grace, standing there, calm as ever, holding her Bible, just looking at him, not with anger, not with fear, but with understanding. She spoke softly, my son, you greet me every day, oh. You would have just asked for help. That sentence hit harder than any slap. Emeka could not even say anything. He could not even look away. He just felt like disappearing. The story spread across Surulere like hot oil. Old woman trapped robbers with jollof rice and Coca-Cola. People laughed, shook their heads, and respected her even more. But for Emeka, there was no laughter, only consequences. In the police van, as the city lights passed away, one thought kept repeating. She knew. From the moment she opened that door, she knew. And yet, she fed them, calmed them, and outsmarted them without even shouting, without fear, without violence, just wisdom. Some people fight with strength, some fight with noise, but some fight with calm so deep it confuses danger itself. Mama Grace did not just stop a robbery, she turned predators into prisoners with a plate of jollof rice and a quiet mind. And in Lagos, that kind of story doesn't just end, it becomes legend. Thank you so much for watching to this point. I hope you learned a lot from this story. Please do like, comment, share, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so that you don't miss out on any of our juicy stories. I'll see you on the next one. Till then, bye.